Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Round 9, the penultimate round of the 100% Racing Series. Takes us to the Algarve International Circuit in Portugal. Qualifying was completed yesterday, which in the end saw Safdar on pole position, but a rundown on what actually happened. So in Q1, only 15 in the session, so not much happened. Only thing was that Wild Dog crashed out. He did manage to set a lap time, which ended up knocking Page out. Top of Q1 was Safdar, but didn't catch his lap time, unfortunately, which is fine. Q2 saw most people set their fastest times on the mediums. The exceptions to this rule were Vamu, Milios, and Winfield. Top of the timing pages in Q2 went to Safdar again and was looking a class apart from the rest of the field at this point, as he outpaced the soft runners on his mediums. Eliminated were Trotter, Gainful, Hartnell, and Moody. Q3 was an interesting battle for every position bar pole. Safdar wrapped up that early with a brilliant 1 minute 16.416 as Big Boswell secured second with his fastest lap of the session that was nearly 0.4 of a second slower. Vamu was P3 behind him. The positions changed several times during that session, right up until the final second where Mielios grabbed P4. Le Bulfan did hold it when the checker flag came out, Paquette dropping as each person crossed over the line. So a rundown on the grid when the race does get underway. The drivers deciding on their last minute tyre and fuel strategies. It's a 66 lap race this will be. So we're expecting an hour and a half session, depending on if we do get safety cars, of course. Hopefully we won't get any. We had 5 last week in Spain, and we had 5 the week before in Melbourne. As far as the championship is concerned, with only 83 points left on the table now, it's an 83-point gap between Big Boss Bells and Dixon. Now, Big Boss Bells just needs 1 point here to guarantee himself the title, or if Dixon does not win the race and achieve the fastest lap, then the title will be sealed for Big Boss Bells. All he needs to do, really, is just finish the race, or if Dixon does not win. It's as simple as that. And there's quite a fight actually going on for third place between Eckott, Ginge, and Page. Eckott has 98 points. Ginge has 71. No, sorry, he has 81, and Page has 71. So just 27 points separating those three going into the final 2 rounds of the championship. We're at Portugal here today. We were meant to be going to a DLC track. We are hoping it will be Imola, but Imola's not been released yet in the game. But hopefully we will see an announcement perhaps during the week as to when it will be released. If it's not released in time, we'll go to another circuit to conclude the season. So a rundown on who lines up where. Safdar is on pole with Big Boss Bells alongside. It's Vamu in the Red Bull in third, ahead of Mielios fourth. Quickler is fifth, ahead of Winfield on the third row, followed by Liverpool Fan and Ginge. Eckert and Dust make up the top 10. Trotter and Gainful Odds line up on the 6th row, with Hartnell and Moody on the 7th row. Wild Dog and Page are next up on row 8, and then it's Dixon, who is down in 17th place on the grid, ahead of the Red Bull of Dylan. And making up the back row are the two Mercedes cars of Marcel and Statistic King. Statistic King, who's already won in Melbourne this season, he lines up in 20th and last position. In regards to tyre strategies, it looks pretty mixed. Safdar, Big Boss Bells, Quick Killer, Liverpool Fan, and Ginge, as well as Dust, who are starting in the top 10. All starting in the mediums, as are Jay Hartnell, Page, Dixon, Dylan, and Marcel. The rest are all starting on the soft compound. So 15 corners around this Portimao circuit, a circuit that opened in 2008. It has been a venue for MotoGP. And of course for Formula 1, the first time Formula 1 raced here was in 2020. As Formula 1 needed some circuits to help fill the calendar for that campaign in response to the crisis that is the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. But it's a great racetrack for either Formula 1 or for MotoGP. They raced this year as well, hence why the track has been added to the game. We're not expecting Portimao to be on the 2022 calendar, but should one of the circuits that is expected to be included on the calendar that can't host it because of restrictions, travel restrictions, or if it's a limited number of fans that are allowed to go, then Portimao could be called back in as a last-minute replacement, but we'll see further down the line. Here we go then, round 9, the penultimate round of the 100% Racing Championship. Safdar on pole with Big Boss Bells alongside the 5 red lights appear in front of the drivers when they extinguish. We'll be racing here in Portugal. It's lights out, and away we go. Safdar gets off the line very, very well, as does the Alpine of Melios. He's got quite a lot of wheel spin, so he's dropped back from it. Vamu into second place in the Red Bull, ahead of Big Boss Bells. So Big Boss Bells losing a position there. He could lose another one to Quick Killer, who goes right round the outside as they go through turn 3 together. So Safdar leads with Vamu second, as the drivers make their way through turn 4. One of the trickiest parts of the racetrack where you could easily lose the car. One of the Alpha Tauris has gone round. It's Gainful Odds, who has pointed the wrong way, but has continued. But Safdar remains in the lead with Vamu not far behind him in P2. Right on board with the Red Bull as they make their way up and down the hill as they approach turn 10. And then for the next braking zone of 11, and someone has gone off the track. It's one of the Williams cars, but looks in, that's Eckert. So Eckert, third place in the championship going into this event, has spun round the wrong way on that one. So Safdar coming towards the hairpin of turn 14. This is a lovely view to see the cars go through. And now they're going to go through this banking of turn 15 to conclude the first lap. So Safdar remains in front. One lap down, 65 to go. As we watch Quick Killer go side by side, and Trotter's out of the race. Not sure what's happened there, but he's crashed into the wall by the looks of it, and we've got a virtual safety car. So those have just entered the pit lane for repairs, and Statistic King has gone as well. So Statistic King is also out of the race. He's retired in the pit lane, and he's clearly had enough. So Wild Dog into the pits for a new front wing. He's going to leave himself with a whole load of work to do. So Trotter's Ferrari ends up crashing out. And Statistic King has also decided to call it a day after just one lap of racing. So we're under VSC conditions. All the drivers need to adhere to the Delta. We're back on the way then. Doesn't look as though anyone got penalised, which is good. So Soft Dart continues to lead, but he's not out of that 1 second window yet. The DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap. Now, as it stands, as the championship is concerned, Big Boss Bells will be champion. He is in third place. He just needs to finish in the top 15 to guarantee himself that championship crown. And someone's gone off. And it's Eckhart who's gone off for the second time, this time at turn 13. It's been a race to forget so far for him. He's leading himself with too much to do. And he's got a time penalty as well by the looks of it. I think he got 5 seconds worth of penalty for corner cutting. Well, there's Vamu who was able to use the DRS on that back straight there between turns 4 and 5. Wild Dog gets his first time penalty of the race for track limits, that'll be. So Vamu in second position. And now the drivers are heading through turn 14, the penultimate turn. And someone's gone off in sector 3. I don't know who that is. I think that may be Marcel, actually. Or I think it may have been Dixon, actually. So Dixon had a bit of a moment. Now Dixon has to win this race and get the fastest lap to keep his title hopes alive, and for Big Boss Bells not to score at all. So Liverpool fan around the outside of Dust to go up into 6th position. Gainful Odds has passed Page now for 15th. And Wild Dog continues to get penalised. 3 seconds for him. And there we can see a battle for 3rd position as Mielios and Big Boss Bells go side by side together. And Mielios gets through. So the Alpine gets past the McLaren. And Big Boss Bells having to play catch up. I mean, to be fair, Mielios is on the soft compound. Big Boss Bells is on the mediums. Now, Vamu's behind Safdar at the moment. He's hoping to get a move done on him very, very soon. So Vamu will be able to use the DRS. Now the drivers go through turn 1 together. And Dylan posting the fastest lap of the race so far in the Red Bull. He's up to 9th at the moment, is Dylan from the back of the grid. So he's done very, very well, it has to be said. But having said that, commentator's curse, he's just caught the curb and has gone for a spin. So Dylan becomes the next driver to fall down the order. Needs to be careful not to rejoin into the path of other drivers, so he stays out of the way, and he's down to 16th place behind Page. So Safdar has opened up that 1 second gap now, so Vamu won't be able to use the DRS. There's Winfield in 5th place. Could he be the next one to send Big Boss Bells down the order? There's Mielios running wide there, so that's allowed Big Boss Bells to close back in. And Meeman Moody has gone round in the Williams at turn 8. It's continued. So both Williams cars at the back of the field, they're not having a good time with it, are they? But Big Boss Bells hoping to get a move done here on Mielios as they come up towards the end of lap 5. Big Boss Bells with DRS. He will go through. Now does Winfield go through as well? Don't think he will do from there. So that's how effective the DRS can be around Portimao. Dixon posts a new fastest lap in the Haas as Marcel pulls a move on Quick Killer to put himself up into 9th place. And Wild Dog gets his 3rd penalty of the race already. If he carries on getting penalties like that, he will end up being disqualified. You know, to have 3 penalties in just under 5 laps of racing is not good. So Winfield behind Mielios. And someone's gone round in sector 3. It's Marcel. So, oh, it's Quickler's off as well. So Quickler off into the gravel. Have they had a come in together at turn 12? Marcel had a moment, so I wonder if he's got damage to his car. It doesn't look like he has done. But he's dropped down the order anyway. So Jay Hartnell moves up to 10th place. As Quickler will need to head back to the pits because he's got damage to the left-hand side of his front wing. I think, oh, maybe not have a... He might not have damage. So he'll continue on his way. I want to get moved on Eckott, though, as Winfield gets past Mielios. So Winfield... Well, he thought he got through, but Mielios is fighting back. Through turn 7 they go. And so Winfield stays behind the Alpine. So Winfield behind Mielios. Can he get a move on the Alpine? There should be a slam dunk maneuver here, no problem. Here we go. Winfield through and up into 4th place, no problem whatsoever. So here's Eckott approaching Moody in the battle for 15th place. Tries for a move around the outside, but Moody had it covered. Moody runs wide and that allows his teammate through. So Eckott through and into 15th position. So Safdar continues to lead the race. I've just seen that Eckott's, he's got a 5-second time penalty. Liverpool fans got 3 seconds. Moody now has 3 seconds. So Big Boss Buzz just got past Vamu on the exit of turn 14. So are Vamu's tyres starting to fall away here by this point? Well, he's got the DRS, so he may be able to get a move back on Big Boss Bells as they go down the start-finish straight. Here we go to the outside. And Vamu, does he get back through into 2nd place? He did put all 4 wheels over the white line there. He's still going side by side, and now he's through into 2nd position. Big Boss Bells is going to have the DRS out before they get to turn 5. And Big Boss Bells is back through. Marcel, the latest to be penalised for track limits. 3 seconds it is for him. As Vamu has to concede 2nd place for now. It's turned into a great battle though between those two. As Vamu runs wide, and it's going to allow Winfield and Mielios to close back in. So on lap 9 out of 66. Safdar coming around to complete the 9th lap. He's got a lead of 5.5 seconds now. Vamu gets penalised for track limits. 3 seconds for him. And Dixon with a new fastest lap. He's behind Ginge in the battle for 8th. Does he go for a move into turn 1? The answer is no. Well, he does it through 2, though. He got a better exit than the Alfa Romeo, and Dixon takes advantage. So that was a very nice move there from last season's champion. There's Dylan in 11th place ahead of Marcel. Kane Velocity in 13th place. There's Paige on her own in 14th. She'll have Eckhart for company in a moment. So Safdar continues to stretch out the margin. As Quick Killer gets a penalty now for track limits. That's his second one of the race. I think, no, it's his first one. And Dixon now with a penalty. So that's a total of 8 drivers in this race who have a time penalty of some sort. 10 laps done now. And someone's gone off in sector 2. Is that Moody, who's gone off on the exit of turn 8. He comes back onto the track. He's a long, long way behind those who he's fighting with towards the back. The battle for second rages on again. There's Liverpool fan in 6th position. As Vamu gets past Big Boss Bells for second place. Page gets penalised as well for track limits. Oh, it looks like Vamu was about to go for a spin there, but he caught it in time. Remains in front of the McLaren for now. He's not going to have the luxury of the DRS the next time they go onto the pit straight. And Moody into the pits for Williams. Gets rid of the soft compound tyres and gets a set of mediums on. So the leader goes through to lap him. And we can see Big Boss Bells fighting back on Vamu. Into turn 1 they go. And Big Boss Bells just about makes it. Vamu will tuck him behind. He knows he'll have the DRS for this next back straight. Winfield trying to take advantage here. Does not make it through. So Winfield in 4th position, behind Vamu and Big Boss Bells as they go through turn 13. So Winfield into the slipstream behind Vamu as they approach turn 1. Winfield doesn't quite make it there, and Big Boss Bells has been penalised for track limits. So that's 3 seconds for him. There's Dust going past Liverpool fan for a moment, but that move backfired and it allowed Dixon through instead. So Dust down to 8th place, Dixon up to 7th. Trying to get in front of Liverpool fan as well with DRS. Goes to the outside. No contact between the two. Liverpool fan leaves Dixon's space. And Dixon's through and up into 6th. Someone's gone round in sector 2. Is that Mima Moody's gone round for a spin? It is. That's yet another spin for him as he allows Gins to go through. Wild Dog seems to have left the session there. Don't know if that's a connection issue, but hopefully we'll see him back in play before the race ends. If not shortly. So Vamu, does he go for it on Big Boss Bells on the pit straight? Looks like Eckhots has gone for a spin now. It's been a nightmare race for Williams. So Vamu not going for it from there. Keeps going wide though. Won't want to be doing that too many times. He's already on a penalty. You won't want to be getting another one. Oh, he's going over the curb there. And someone's gone off in sector 3. Is that me, Moody has gone round, or is that... No. Well, there's Gameful Odds who's gone for a spin at turn 3, but has continued. I think it was me, Moody, who's come in, and Eckhott's in for... I think he's going to be in for a new front wing, because it looks as though his front wing's gone missing. And Wild Dog is back in play now, so he should take back control of his... And that's me, Moody, who's continuing to drop back. And Soft Art continues on for another lap. So Eckhott's front wing is replaced. He rejoins in 17th, and he's a lap down. And we can see Winfield trying to make a move on Vamu. And Melios gets a time penalty there. I don't know if he got hindered by the Williams that was coming out of the pits. By the way, he's got a time penalty now of 3 seconds. Dust and Liverpool Fan going side by side. Contact made between the Alpine and the Aston Martin. The Liverpool Fan gets in front for now. And Dixon closing in the battle for second position. Wild Dog gets another time penalty. 15 seconds he's on. And we're only on that 15. Mima Moody back in the pits. And I think this is going to be a retirement for him, I think. Yeah, out of the race. Mima Moody goes no further in this Portuguese Grand Prix. At least he's got some more experience of the track, though. And someone's gone round in sector 2. Is that an AlphaTauri that's gone round? It is. That's Gameful's second spin in just over a lap. So his race comes to an end. Oh, and it's contact between him and Quick Killer. Surely Quick Killer's car is damaged through that. But it's definitely taken a scrape. The Gameful Odds is continuing to have his own melodies in the race. And it looks like... Is that Vamu who's gone down the order? It is! And his front wing's gone. So Vamu's gone for a spin into the barrier, and his front wing's gone missing. And the virtual safety car has been deployed. Now, the leaders are only... Well, Softa's only just going through turn 7 and 8 now. I don't know how long the virtual safety car will remain out there for. But hopefully not for too much longer, as Dylan comes into the pits for a change of tyres. So he's out on a set of softs. Quick Killer also in for a new front wing. And Gameful Odds is back in the pits as well for AlphaTauri. And it looks like he's taken some of his time penalty as well, 5 seconds. Vamu continues to get penalised for track limits as well, so that's another 3 seconds for him. And Softail cannot overtake under the virtual safety car. He needs to stay within the delta, so at least Gameful Odds and Quick Killer remain on the lead lap. We're back on the way. Jay Hunnell's been given a drive-through penalty. He's the only one to be penalised for exceeding the delta. And Vamo's only just made it into the pit, so he's not gained from the virtual safety car. Hartnell comes in to take his drive-through penalty now. And he'll fall down the order. I don't know if this is a glitch by the game, but Vamo's just rejoined into the path of Hartnell. So the Liverpool fan has conceded the position to Dust. Page goes up to 10th place. And Vamo rejoins in 12th now, behind his teammate. So Big Boss Bells is in 2nd place, with Winfield 3rd, Mielio's 4th, and Dixon up to 5th. So there's Liverpool fan in the battle for 6th place. Dust got ahead of him earlier on in the lap, but Liverpool fan wants that position back. Quick Hilly gets a penalty for track limits. Doing open then on Liverpool fans is Aston Martin. We'll go to the inside. And he makes 6th place his. And he covers the line into turn 3. So Liverpool fan back up into the top 6. And Dylan with a new fastest lap in the Red Bull. Trying to make a recovery. Looks to recover ground that he's lost in this race already. And Vamo's lost the position to Jay Hartnell now. So he's down to 13th position. Wild Dog gets another penalty for track limits. He's on 18 seconds worth now. Vamo diving to the inside of Hartnell, entering turn 5. And the Red Bull gets through, no problem. If you have joined us on the broadcast, we do welcome you. Do make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Interested to hear your thoughts on the race so far and who you are predicting to win. There's Dixon right behind Mielio's now in the battle for 4th place. Now Dixon goes to the inside into turn 5, and that was a very nice manoeuvre there. He came from quite a long way back, and he's through into 4th position. Mielio's lets him through. So Dust behind the Aston Martin. There we go. To the inside. Should get the move done before the corner actually, so he should have just moved back onto the racing line before the corner. So Wild Dog behind Hartnell in the battle for 13th place. There we go. We're going to see another change of position here on the road. Not this time around. Wild Dog sits in behind. So Sufdar's lead is nearly 10 seconds over Big Boss Bells. There's that 2 drivers already. They are Gainful Odds and Eckhart, who are still running. Wild Dog picks up his 7th penalty of the race already. We've not even reached 2/3 distance now. He needs to stop getting the time penalties. It's just going too quick through corners. And he's constantly getting penalised because of it. So Winfield into the pits, and Wild Dog's race is over. He's crashed out. It's a silly place to go off, really. And is that going to be enough to deploy the safety car, I wonder? Winfield has just come into the pits for a set of the soft compound tyre. He rejoins. Does he get her in front of that Mercedes? I don't think he does, you know. So he rejoins behind Marcel in 9th. Doesn't look as though the safety car is going to be coming out, which is good news. Vamo going to the outside of Page in the battle for 11th. And this will be a sum dump manoeuvre for him when he gets past. So Liverpool fan approaching dust in the battle for 5th place. Quick Killer continuing to get penalised now. 16 seconds worth of time penalties on. I think, oh, and he nearly rejoined into the path there of the Alpine as he rejoined. And he's just been overtaken by Eckert, who's just got past him. Now Quick Killer needs to make sure he maintains his driving standards here. Oh, he's gone for a spin, look. That was needless, to be honest with you. So Quick Killer into the pits, and I would imagine this is going to be another non-finish for him. Yep, that's another driver gone from this race. So Quick Killer, who came into this race 8th in the championship, it's his 3rd straight non-finish. He's been on a dismal run of form at the moment. Out in Australia, out in Spain, and out here tonight in Portugal. And Winfield diving to the inside of Marcel. Not too bad of a manoeuvre to go back into 8th position. So we're at a 3rd race distance. And Vamo gets another penalty now. He's on 12 seconds worth of time penalty. It's going from bad to worse for him. And Dixon has passed Mielios to go up into 3rd place. So he's now going after his title rival, Big Balls Bells. So Dixon within a second now of Big Balls Bells, as they are coming up to the AlphaTauri of Gainful Odds. So it could all of a sudden end up being a Haas 1-2. Now looking at the championship standings in the teams championship. McLaren went into the round with a 69-point lead over Ferrari. But Ferrari have already got 1 driver out of this race in this one. The maximum number of points a team can score in a round in this is... well, it would be 40 points for a race victory, 32 for second, plus the points for pole position fastest out, so it's 74. Now if Haas a further 12 points behind, they could all of a sudden get a 1-2 in this race and throw themselves right back into it. And Vamo gets another penalty, and it's a retirement for Vamo. That's a shame because he was running very well up until he had that spin about 10 laps or so ago. But his race has come to a premature close. And Paige gets her second penalty of the race for track limits. So we're down to 14 runners in this Portuguese Grand Prix. You can see Vamos car ghosted. He stays out of the way. Just to see if there's any other battles going on behind. There's Liverpool Fun tussling still with Dust. There's Paige and Jay Hartnell fighting over 11th position. So will Hartnell get past Paige here? Gainford's getting a penalty for track limits. He's down in 13th position and a lap down anyway. Paige allows the Ferrari to go through and want to go to the battle for second place because Big Boswell is holding up Dixon. Now, none of the top 6 have pitted yet. That's because they started on the medium compounds. Dixon, I think, is going to get a move done here on the McLaren as they go over the line. So Dixon's through into P2, no problem. And Big Boss Bells tries to fight back. He won't do it into turn 3. You can see a battle for 4th place raging between Dust and Liverpool Fan. And someone's gone off in sector 2. Is that will be gainful odds in the AlphaTauri at turn 11. He's lost 13th place to Eckert as a result of that. So Safdar completes the 26th lap, 40 to go. And Big Boss Bells gets another time penalty for track limits. He's 17 seconds in front of Dust anyway. As Liverpool Fan and Ginge come into the pits together. Now Melios goes past the Mercedes of Marcel. You can see Safdar tight on fuel at the moment. Dixon is not. Big Boss Bells is. So it could be later on where they may need to conserve fuel. I mean, to be fair, Safdar's got 10 seconds in hand over his teammate anyway. And Big Boss Bells into the pits for McLaren. Goes on to a set of the soft compounds. So he's not going to go for the one-stop strategy. So I would think he'll be going onto a set of mediums for the last stint. Now is Dust going to do the same strategy here? or are hard tyres the way to go? Well, Mio's just posting a new fastest lap. Soft tyres going on Duster's car. Marcel in the pits for McLaren. He's also going on to a set of the softs. So no one going for the hard compound, interestingly. So Dust rejoins just ahead of Liverpool fan. He's going to be right on his tail here, no question. So Hartnell into the pits for his first stop. And Safdar, the race leader, comes in. Does he get the car slowed down in time? Yes, he does. And that will allow Dixon to lead at the front. So Safdar rejoins ahead of Big Boss Bowles by the looks of things. He does so. He's a long way ahead of him. Rear wing open on Liverpool fan's car. It's approaching Dust as they come towards turn one. Liverpool fan to the inside, but Dust shuts the door as Mielios picks up another penalty. 9 seconds is on now as well. That's a lot of time. He would lose a position to Dillon as it stands, but there's still at least another round of pit stops to come in this race. So just Dixon and Page have yet to pit. I wonder if Dixon will try and go onto the hard compounds. If he's going to do 30 laps on the mediums, you would think he'll do the remaining 36 on a set of the hard compound size. He can't do the mediums, because in a dry race you have to use at least 2 different dry compounds. So Liverpool fan behind Dust as we go through turn 15 now. Is the Aston Martin going to be close enough to pull his machine alongside? Still no way in getting through. So Liverpool fan remains in 8th. This is the closest battle we've got out on circuit at the moment. And Safdar with a new fast start, 1:18.4 for him. Liverpool fan behind Dust in the battle for 7th place. So we're coming up to half race distance. On lap 32, Dixon's lead is nearly 10 seconds, but he's yet to make a pit stop. I wonder if he may be trying to do a medium soft strategy. Well, someone's gone off in sector 2. Is that the race leader? Yes, it is. Dixon's gone off. Dixon has gone for a spin at turn 8, and he has lost a bundle of time. There's his teammate Safdar, who's going to surely take the lead very shortly. Now, this is not what he needed to keep his slim hopes of the championship alive. He's allowed his teammate go through, no problem. Dixon will have the DRS though. Will it be time for him to duck into the pits for a change of tyres? I'm staying out there for now. So Dust. There's some on there. Little fan goes for a spin. He caught the curb too heavily there. And that's him going for a spin. He stays out of everyone's way. Uses the Montefiore to rejoin. He's lost the position to Ginge. So when will Dixon decide to pit in? We're at half race distance. Decides to remain out there, does Dixon. I think if he's going to make this softs, couple of stints on the softs work, he needs to do, I would say, at least another 5 or 6 laps. Which on warm mediums is going to be very difficult to do. Then Emilio's coming up to the AlphaTauri of Gainful Odds. And Dixon has a penalty of 3 seconds, which is 3 seconds less than Big Balls Bowles. The only danger though is that once he comes in for his pit stop, he'll be behind. Or he'll be down to 6th place behind Dylan as it stands, although Dylan will be in the pits soon for another change of tyres. Over the line, and Dixon posts a 1:20.2 on that lap. So Dixon, 2.5 seconds behind his teammate, who is on the fresher tyres. He's coming up to lap the Ferrari of Jay Hartnell. As it stands, Big Boss Bells will be champion. And now Dylan's right behind Mielios in the battle for 5th place. And mind you, Dylan's on soft tyres that have done 8 laps more than Mielios. But with DRS, he's going to go through ahead of him. Nicely done. Can he keep it on the track though? Yes, he can. So good move there from the Rebel. Dylan up to 5th. And Dixon with a time penalty of 3 seconds. That's not, well, to go with the 3 he's already got, so he's on 6 seconds worth. So Dixon on 1 mediums is setting times in the low 1 minute 20s still. He's maintaining the gap nicely over Big Boss Bells, so doing very well on tyres that have done 36 laps. Mediums they are. I think he's probably looking at around lap 44 if he used to do a single stint on the softs. That must be what he's thinking. And Dylan gets another time penalty as well. He's on 9 seconds worth. So just 5 drivers are without a time penalty at all. Here's the battle for 5th place. And the Elio's going over the line. Right behind Dylan. He didn't use the DRS that time though. Probably felt there was no point. So soft dart continuing to lead. 4.4 seconds clear of Dixon now. Big Boss Bells in the right position for the title. All he needs to do now, with there being only 14 cars left in this race, is to, well, just finish. That's all he needs to do. And the championship is his. And Dylan comes into the pits for his second stop. It's going to be another set of feet soft compound going on, and out he goes. He'll rejoin behind Liverpool fan in 9th place. So he joins ahead of the Mercedes of Marcel. Very soft up. We are expecting him to be in the pits for one last time before this race is over. And Dixon's beginning to really lose time now. He's 5 seconds off the lead, and Big Boss Bells is really beginning to close in on him. On the road anyway. And Eckhart pits in from 13th place. And that'll allow Gaethelod to go through. And it's medium size going on as Paige gets her second penalty of the race for chat limits. So soft up behind Paige as these two approach turn 13. Soft up goes through to put a lap on the McLaren. But Paige might get the DRS on the start-finish straight, which will come in handy for her. At the moment, Paige is 26 seconds behind Marcel, who is sitting in 10th. Dixon continuing on his mediums. I'd reckon he'll be in 4 laps' time. And Winfield enters the pits from 4th place. Nelio's right behind him. Medium size going on the Alpine. And it's the same with Winfield's AlphaTauri. You see they will rejoin behind this group here. Dylan's got through ahead of Winfield. Winfield is without a time penalty though, so he's very much in prime position to finish ahead of him. So there's Dixon in 2nd position on the road. The driver the fastest up of the race is Dylan, with 1 minute 18.4. And Ginge, the latest to get a penalty now. I think that's his first one of the race, isn't it? It is. Gainfords with another penalty. 6 seconds he's on. The driver the biggest penalty right now is Melios, has got 12 seconds worth. As it stands, he wouldn't lose a position, but he won't be gaining any. So 6 drivers out of this race so far. Vamu was one of them. Or it is one of them. Quick Killer, likewise. Wild Dog, Moody, Statistic King and Trotter are the others. Still not running in this Portuguese Grand Prix. And Dylan gets past Liverpool fan into 6th place. Next up for him is Ginge. And then Dust soon after. Now Page is less than 3 seconds ahead of Jay Hartnell, who's approaching on her. And then we've got a long queue of cars, starting with Dust in 4th place, right down to Marcel in 10th. Now Dylan on the much fresher tyres than Ginge is closing in. Right round the outside he goes as they get into turn 13. Can they do the switch back into 14? He's thinking about going for a move around the outside. I'm sure he'll want DRS on the pit straight though, when they do come round to that. Here we go. Dylan will sail past the Alfa Romeo. Round the outside he goes, and up to 5th place goes the Red Bull. Very nicely done. The battle for 11th is raging on as Page, who is still yet to pit in this race, has got Jay Hartnell right behind her. Page is down a lap now on the leaders. Hartnell will have DRS this time around. We're at 2/3 race distance then. Safdar leads, and someone's gone off in sector 2. Is that Melios? It is. So Melios, who is currently holding a 12-second time penalty, has fallen down to 10th place. Not what he needed at all. He was running up there in the top 5 at the beginning of the race, and it's just all fallen apart for him. He's only been into the pits a couple of laps ago as well. So, I think Dixon responding to Big Boss Bells a little bit now. I think Big Boss Bells' tyres will be starting to fall away quicker than Dixon's. We're on lap 44 now, so I would think that this is going to be the time for Dixon to come in. He's got a clear track ahead of him at the moment, so maybe he wants to make full use of it before he does come in, using his ERS as well. And he stays out for another lap. And that was his personal best lap of the race. And Hartnell's now past Page as the McLaren enters the pits. And Soft's going on, which will see her to the checker flag without a problem. She's far enough ahead of Gainful, so she shouldn't be troubled by him. So Page rejoins in 12th as Liverpool fan gets past Ginge before they get to the pit straight. But Ginge is fighting back. Liverpool fan's got the DRS though as they go side by side into turn 1, and Liverpool fan gets to up to 6th place. Ginge is fighting back though on the curbs. The 2 avoid contact. So that's a position gain there for Liverpool fan on the road at least. But Ginge is fighting back though as they get to turn 5. Dylan moves in front of Dust. We'll come to that battle shortly. We're seeing 2 battles right now. We'll go back to this one. Dust allows Dylan to go through, and Dylan is up to 4th place on the road. Liverpool fan gets the time penalty for track limits. That takes his penalty up to 6. Dixon now 7 seconds off the lead. But he's still managing a 10-second gap over Big Boss Bells behind, who's got another penalty to his name, so that's good news for Dixon. So Dixon continuing on his charge as Ginge comes into the pits for Alfa Romeo. And Dylan gets another penalty for track limits. Is he going into battle with Dust here? He is. Dust dive into the inside. The Red Bull's still there. The 2 avoid contact. Dust is fighting back there as he goes to the outside into turn 5. He'll do the switchback, or try to do the switchback on the exit, but Dylan has it covered. So Safdar Going through turn 1. And Hartnell into the pits for Ferrari, which should allow Page back through. Jay Hartnell exits the pit lane. He'll rejoin ahead of Page. So no problem for him there. Liverpool fan into the pits. He's in a battle with Ginge at the moment. I think with Ginger's pace, he should undercut Liverpool fan. Ginge should get in front of the Aston Martin. Yes, he will. So Liverpool fan rejoins in 10th. He's just about to be left by the race leader very, very shortly. Dixon continuing to lose grip lap by lap. We're now on lap 48, and he's the only driver not yet stopped. He's going to be on blistering tyres though. So Mielio's behind Marcel in the fight for 7th. Entering turn 14. Gainful Odds enters the pits for AlphaTauri for his final stop. That'll allow Eckhart to go through into P13. So watch Mielio's close in on Marcel. He does not go for the move from there. I don't think he even used his DRS down the pit straight. So there's soft dart. He's not got by the Aston Martin. And to be fair, Liverpool fan is on much fresher tyres. It's the same with Ginge. As Gainful Odds rejoins from his pit stop. And Big Boss Bells enters the pits for the last time. The championship is ever so close now. Soft tyres go on. There's Jay Hartnell and Page coming down the start finish straight, but they're a lap down. Eckhart has gone off the track into the wall. The polystyrene blocks go, and his front wing's missing there. And I wonder if someone's hit the debris after he's gone off track there. So Big Boss Bells rejoins in 3rd place. No need for the safety car, or the virtual safety car. So Dixon will want to be reacting to this ideally. And Page gets another penalty for track limits. And Eckhart will be making his way back to the pits, allows Ginge and Liverpool fan to go through. And this is a battle, a drag race down to turn 1. Eckhart into the pits. And is this going to be a retirement for him? Not at the moment so far. Mielio's goes down the inside of Marcel this time, and that was a move that was coming over the last few laps. So Dixon's still on the mediums. This has been an incredible stint for him. Big Boss Bells will be going a lot quicker than Dixon's doing at the moment. Dixon set a 23.1 by sector 1. Big Boss Bells' time will be a lot quicker. 22.6. And the time that Dixon set in by Sector 2 is a 54.4. I'll look to see what Big Boss Bowles' time is like by the time he does get into Sector 2. So 52.9. So he's already going 1.5 seconds quicker than Dixon on this, well, the first two sectors alone. Well, Dixon's posted a 1:20.5, so we'll see what Big Balls Bowles' time is like as he goes over the line. This is going to be a new fastest lap of the race as well, I would imagine. 1 minute 18.2. So Big Balls Bowles closing in by 2.3 seconds on that last lap. As it stands with the pace he's setting, he will be in front of Dixon on the road. Safdar's coming up to lap the AlphaTauri of Gainful Odds, who's on much fresher tyres than Safdar. I can imagine the Haas will be coming in very, very shortly. He's staying out there. So can Dixon? Is he going to continue on for another lap? He is. Still not coming in. So 4 drivers have been lapped in this race. Ginge in 10th place, the last driver on the lead lap as Dust comes into the pits. Some 23 laps on his latest stint of softs. He's coming in for the last time. Winfield gets a penalty for track limits. That takes his total... Well, that's his first one of the race, actually. So he's done very well to go that far without a penalty. I don't think Liverpool Fun is going to get in front of that Alpine, to be honest with you. It's too far back. Dust runs wide, though, through turn 1. It's allowed the Aston Martin through, believe it or not. So, perhaps I should take my word back for what I said. So we're on lap 53. Dixon still not coming in for tyres. There's no way those mediums are going to last that much longer. Marcel behind Mielios in the fight for 6th place. I'll have a look at the penalties because Marcel and Mielios' time penalty is the same. So this is a straight fight for position. So down the pit straight they come. And Marcel that goes into the pits. And gets the car slowed down in time. Which is good to see. There he goes. Now Dixon. Does he come in this lap? No, he's still carrying on. He's still carrying on. So Dixon laps the Mercedes of Marcel. You can see a battle going on for 7th place between Liverpool fan Dust and Ginge. Dust is on the fresher tyres than these two. So just 2 virtual safety cars we've had, not a single safety car. There's Dust, who remarkably performed a drift through turn 11, but kept the car pointing the right way. It was a good job it was a right-hander. And now he's got Ginge going right round the outside of him here. And Ginge goes off track. That's a penalty for him, unfortunately. He's now on 6 seconds. He's still going to go for it here on the Alpine. Safdar's not too far behind them either to lap them, but Ginge gets past and up to 8th. And there's Dixon, who should be able to use the DRS on this pit straight. He's just coming into lap, or he's just been unlapped actually by the Mercedes of Marcel. So he's done 54 laps on the medium, says Dixon. I think in any race I've commentated on, that's the highest number of laps I've seen anyone do a stint on the mediums. Still an effort from Dixon, who started the race from 17th on the grid to get himself up to where he is. This is not going to be enough for him to keep his title challenge alive. And Paige gets another penalty for track limits. She's in 12th place behind Jay Hartnell. She's on 15 seconds worth, but she's got 31 seconds in hand over Gainful odds anyway. So Doss passes Ginge for 8th place. And Dixon still remaining out there on the mediums. I think he'll be in at the end of this lap, to be honest with you. Will Dixon is out of DRS range of the car ahead. And Winfield passes Dylan for 4th. He's 13 seconds behind Big Balls Bells, but Winfield, I'm just trying to think, is he on better tyres than Big Balls Bells? I'm just thinking, because he's got he's got a time penalty that's 6 seconds less than Big Balls Bells. So if he can get to within 6 seconds of him, he'll be ahead of Big Balls Bells by the end of this race. Just seen that Dixon's been given another time penalty. 9 seconds he is on now. So will he come in at the end of this lap, finally, to tyres? I think he's going to. No, he's not. No, he's staying out there. I'm amazed he's staying out this long. So Dixon in P2. As Dust approaches Liverpool fan. Rearing open. Can Doss get the move done into turn 1? The answer is yes, he can. Although he's so thought, because Liverpool fan's just gone off track there to keep hold of the position. Rearing open on Doss's car. To the outside he goes. Wheel to wheel. Dust will fight back. Now Dixon still hasn't come into the pits. It's been a sterling effort. So Dust gets past Liverpool Van into P7. Now Dixon continues on. Now is he going to wait until the last few laps? Go to maybe lap 63 or 64, get the soft tyres on. Well, good news for him is that Big Boss Bells has just been given another time penalty. He's on 12 seconds worth, 9 seconds more than Winfield. This is going to be an interesting end to the race in terms of who will be on the podium. We know that the championship is more or less decided now. So Softar in the lead, coming up behind the trio who are battling with each other. Liverpool Fan, Dust and Ginge. And Eckhart receives a time penalty for track limits. And Softar has done 30 laps on the soft compound. Which is quite an effort he's made there. Now what will Dixon do? It still doesn't pit. He still does not pit. Incredible. Had it not been for that spin earlier on, I could have most certainly have secured him his second place. So Big Boss Bells in third, who holds the fastest lap of the race, 1:18.2 he has set. Only marginally in front of Marcel, actually. He's also set at 1:18.2. You can see that 5 drivers lapped, including Marcel in 10th place. Now Softar. What will he decide to do here? He carries on. Don't know whether he'll go for the fastest lap later. He may do, he may not. So Dixon completes 60 laps on a set of mediums. That's a record for me. Well, plenty of track position, to be fair. Dixon still carrying on. 61 laps. He is done now. There's Dust in 8th position behind Liverpool fan. So 5 laps to go in this Portuguese Grand Prix. Safdar's lead 20 seconds, which will be more than that once penalties have been applied. Safdar's done very well to get through the entire race without any penalties whatsoever. The same for Dust and Jay Hartnell. Dust should make up a few positions, I would think. He'll get ahead of Liverpool fan and Melios, but I think he's going to miss out on Dylan ahead. So 2 positions Dust will gain. Marcel gets another penalty. It's now an 18 seconds worth, but that won't lose him a position, as Jay Hartnell's 35 seconds behind. It looks like Safdar is low on fuel. Just thinking, well, Dixon's tight on fuel, but he's not running out of fuel. Oh, there is Puncher. Look, he's got a puncher. That'll be him off into the pits then. And it looks like Dylan's gone for a spin in the Red Bull, so that's good news for Dust in his quest for finishing 5th. So Dixon has taken 62 laps on a set of mediums, probably 1 lap too many. So on goes the softs for the final 4 laps of the race. Big Boss Bells goes through to 2nd place. And Winfield may go up to 4th on the road, will he? No, he won't. Dixon's got out a long way ahead of him. So Dixon's got it all to do now, because he needs to finish at least 6 seconds in front of Winfield, which he should do with the fresher tyres that he's on. I'm just thinking about Safdar here. He's got 37 seconds in hand, but I'm just worried about the fuel he's on. They can afford to go through the next 3 laps 12 seconds slower than Big Boss Bells, plus the penalties of which others have got, so Safdar's got plenty of time in hand. And Dust gets past Liverpool fan for 7th place at the hairpin. So Safdar has dominated the race from the very beginning. Just got to be careful not to take too much life out of those soft tyres. He's done 34 laps on them. There's Marcel in the Mercedes, who's coming up to unlap him. So 2 laps to go for Safdar, as Marcel unlaps himself from the Haas and should pull away with the DRS. 33 seconds he is in front at the moment. Now, if Dixon can get to within 3 seconds of Big Boss Bells, that'll be him going to 2nd place. Dixon's now low on fuel. So is Big Boss Bells, to be fair. And Dixon with a new fastest up of the race, 1:16.9. He's now 3 seconds behind Big Boss Bells. I think he'll pass him on the pit straight on the last lap. The soft start begins the final lap of this race. What a drive it's been from him from start to finish. Not involved in any mayhem throughout. So Dixon behind Big Boss Bells then, in the fight for second on the road. DRS now open on the Haas. Dixon goes to the inside. Big Boss Bells defends for all he can, but it's not going to be enough for Dixon to be denied. And so the Haas goes up to second place, and the team are on course for a 1-2 finish. So here's Sufdart on his final lap. He's got the AlphaTauri behind him, who's closing in. But Sufdart has got 2 more corners to get through now. And this is going to be a brilliant, brilliant, dominant victory. So Sufdart entering the last corner, that is the banking, is going to come home and win the Portuguese Grand Prix here in Portimao. Sufdart does it. Excellent job from him. He takes the 40 championship points. Dixon will come home in second. But Big Boss Bells, we want to look at him because he's had a magnificent season with 4 victories. It wasn't to be today, but he didn't need to win in order to clinch the championship. Big Boss Bells comes down in 3rd place, and he's the 100% racing champion in the Formula Racing League. 3rd, more than enough. Dixon comes down in 2nd. There is Winfield. Did his best with only 3 seconds worth of time penalty. That could have made a difference for him, actually. But it's 4th place. Melios will cross over the line ahead of Dylan, but will drop behind him. And they've got Ginge and Dust fighting over 7th place on the road. We'll see how they end up when they go over the line. Dust finishes in 5th ahead of Dylan by a couple of seconds with the penalties applied. So Dylan will be 6th. Melios 7th. Ginge 8th. Liverpool Fan will be down to 10th place because Marcel, although Liverpool Fan is 9th, Marcel 10th. Jay Hartnell down a lap in 11th. Page 12th. Gameblood 13th. And Eckert, the last of the finishers, in 14th place. It's victory though for Sufdart in Portugal. And congratulations to Big Boss Bells as the new champion. So a Haas 1-2. You don't hear that every day. What a result this is. Maximum points for the team to keep their slim chances in the team's championship alive. They move on to 307 points, but McLaren still lead the way going into the last round. So Sufdart wins with Dixon 2nd and getting the fast start. Big Boss Bells 3rd and crown champion. Winfield 4th, Dust 5th ahead of Dylan, Melios, Ginge, Liverpool Fan and Marcel rounding out the top 10. Jay Hartnell was 11th, followed by Page in 12th, Gameblood 13th, Eckert's the last of the finishes in 14th. Vamu, Quick Killer, Wild Dog, Moody, Statistic King and Trotter were the drivers that did not finish. So Drivers' Championship all but done and dusted. The battle for 3rd place is still hotting up though, as Ginger's result sees him close in on Eckert in the fight for 3rd place going into the last round. For Haas, they move on to 307 points. For McLaren, from today's race, Big Boss Bells finishing 3rd, nets him 26, and Page finishing 12th, nets her, I believe, 6. I think it's 6, or it may be 4. I think it's 4, but I can double check. It's 30 points then for McLaren, so they move on to 334. Haas on 307. So it'll be a 2-way fight for the Constructors' Championship going to the final round. We don't know which venue it's going to be yet. We are hoping that it will be Imola, providing it is released in time for the final round next week. Thank you for joining us. Do make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We hope you enjoyed it. We can't wait to do it over again for the final round of the season in 7 days' time. Same time next week, 9 PM British Summer Time, Saturday. Don't forget to tune in for qualifying at 7 p.m. to see who will qualify on pole and then see who will win the last round of this 100% Racing Championship for its second season in the FRL. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.